Want to stop men from harassing women in the workforce? Just ban women from the workforce. See, that's how gun control works.
Whoever is in authority has a direct effect on your rights. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like channel, like content, what I do here, you can support me with the link. Everything is appreciated. Once again, my PSA for my Connecticut residents. If you plan on getting your Connecticut pistol permit, please get that training done before July 2024, because then after that, the training becomes longer, harder, more expensive, and basically just to disincentivize you from going through the process to get your permit in order to then purchase a firearm. Also, if you have your Connecticut permit, watch that expiration date. Do not rely on the state to send you that renewal notice. But let's talk about this. And some people could say that this does not have anything to do with gun ownership, individual rights, but it actually does. It has a huge impact, and it's what is happening going into the 2024 election cycle. I'm going to focus on two very distinct stories, but they definitely have a connection. First thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that the state of Colorado, the Supreme Court there, has basically said that Trump is ineligible to be on the ballot for 2024 using the 14th Amendment and the Insurrection Act. But what they're saying is because of January 6th, they're claiming that Trump engaged in an insurrection, and under the 14th Amendment, he is no longer eligible to run for public office. Now, we got to remember, this is a very loose interpretation of the 14th Amendment because it was put into the Constitution due to the Civil War and the Confederacy. Those who went over to the Confederacy and fought for the Confederacy, they said, well, we no longer want you to serve in public office. So they're trying to associate what Confederates who actually fought in a war against what they said in the North and the South, but fought in a war against the Union, are insurrectionists. They're trying to associate that with Trump and what happened on January 6th, even though we know, and this is a fact, this is the FBI report, that the violence or alleged violence at the Capitol building started 15 minutes before Trump finished his speech, and Trump clearly said, go to the Capitol and protest peacefully. We are the party of law and order. But that's irrelevant to these people because basically we know what they're trying to do. They are trying to keep him from getting into the White House. And I'm going to come in briefly here in CNN. Trump is ineligible for office under 14th Amendment insurrectionist ban, Colorado Supreme Court rules. Now, if you remember, a lower court, the judge stated that we can't keep him off the ballot, even though the judge stated, this is the judge's opinion, it was not a ruling, stated that she believed that he did cause an insurrection. Of course, the liberal mainstream media lapped that up like a thirsty dog to then say, well, the judge did say she thought he was part of an insurrection, when in reality, she did not make the ruling based on that. So, in a stunning and unprecedented decision, the Colorado Supreme Court on Tuesday removed former President Trump from the state's 2024 ballot, ruling that he is an ineligible presidential candidate because of the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban. It was a 4-3 ruling, which this thing barely made it through by the skin of his teeth. But we know that the Colorado Supreme Court is very liberal. Now, the state Supreme Court decision only applies to Colorado, but the historic ruling will roll the 2024 presidential campaign. Colorado election officials have said the matter needs to be settled by January 5th, which is a statutory deadline to set the list of candidates for the GOP primary scheduled for March 5th. Now, since then, Vivek Ramaswamy has been the only other candidate to come out and say, I will remove my name from the ballot because I don't agree with what they're doing. And I'll play that for you.
They have just tried to bar President Trump from the Colorado ballot using an unconstitutional maneuver that is a bastardization of the 14th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution. This was a provision, Section 3, that was designed to bar Confederate members, people who switched to the Confederacy, from actually being able to serve. That's very different than what's at issue here, to say the least. This is a hollowed out husk of what the country was built on. The basic principle that we, the people, select our leadership, not the unelected elite class in the back of palace halls. That's old world Europe, not the United States. That's why I'm making a pledge today that I will withdraw, I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot unless and until Trump's name is restored. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same thing, or else these Republicans are simply complicit in this unconstitutional attack on the way we conduct our constitutional republic. I refuse to be complicit in that. I think what they're doing is wrong, and I think it's up to Republicans to step up and stand up with a spine for our country's future. That's really what's at stake, whether we, the people, actually have a say in deciding who leads this country. Yes, it would be easier for other Republicans like me who are running in this race to say, hey, if Trump is sidelined, there's our opportunity. No doubt other candidates are probably privately celebrating with their corporate sponsors. That's not the right thing to do. I think the most useful thing that every GOP candidate can do right now is to join me in that pledge. I'll say that I will withdraw from that Colorado GOP primary ballot until Trump's name is restored. This belongs to the people, not to the unelected Democratic cabal of judges in Colorado or any other state. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie do the same thing, or else they're complicit in what this security state is trying to do to shut down Trump. I stand by that, and I expect them to do the right thing.
Now, we know for a fact that several of the other candidates, Chris Christie, Nikki Haley, and probably Ron DeSantis, were banking on something like this happening, so they will not drop out. This is what they were hoping for, because they're getting crushed in the polls. They're getting crushed by double digits in the polls. So they're hoping that things like this, which there are lawsuits just like this all across the country to remove Trump from the ballot. So that's what they were banking on by continuing to run, knowing that they were way behind. We know what they're doing. We can see clearly what they're doing. And it's corrupt on a level and undemocratic on a level you just can't even start to fathom. It's unprecedented. But here's what's happening at the same time. The Democrats, Florida started this movement. They are basically canceling their primaries by removing all the other Democrat candidates from the ballot so that Biden wins by default. And this has caused a little wave because now 2 other states, North Carolina and Tennessee, have also done the same thing. This is amazing. Just keep in mind, this is the party that cries about threats to democracy while they're doing the most undemocratic, fascist thing you can think of. They cry about voter suppression when they are suppressing the votes of the Democrats for the primaries to decide who they want as their candidate to ensure Biden wins. Now, I'm going to give you this. This is just my opinion. I think what's happening here is they're just setting this up so that Biden wins. And when Biden wins the primary in this crooked and criminal manner, he's going to step down and somebody else is going to step into his shoes. And I'm suspecting that's Gavin Newsom. Don't know that, but once again, that's my opinion. I think that's what they're doing because we know, and Democrats know, that Biden is not fit for office. But I wanted to bring that to you because think about this. This continues the Democrats to hold power because that's all Democrats care about. They will burn the country to the ground and rule over the ashes just as long as they are in control. But this has a direct effect on your rights. Look at all the legislation that they've been trying to push through as far as it comes to guns and gun ownership. They are hell-bent on an assault weapons ban. They have 3 attempts going on right now trying to pass something in the genre of banning assault weapons on a federal level. They've tried to keep Trump out of office because they know that he would never sign something like that, and they're trying to rig the system as they did in 2016 and 2020. We saw it clearly to ensure that a Democrat wins the White House in the hopes of getting the majority in the Senate and the House. This has a direct effect on your rights, not just your gun rights, but all your rights. And you should keep that in mind when they play in this little backdoor crooked game that the Democrats are playing. When Democrats talk about threats to democracy, what they're talking about, when they say democracy, They're talking about their version of democracy. Their version of democracy is open borders, rampant crime, crushing of individual rights, and they are basically in control. When they talk about democracy, they're talking about Democrat dictatorships. And you should pay attention to what they are doing. Now, as far as Colorado and this ban that they put on Trump, I don't think it's going to stand up because it's got to go to the Supreme Court. But what they're doing with the Democrat primaries in these 3 states, they're pretty much ignoring the rule of law to do so. And unless these other candidates step up and take this into court, they're going to be forced out, with Biden being the only choice and a clear winner. We should really be worried about what they're up to. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.